Picture this. It's the 90s, and the Disney Renaissance is in full force, raking in that sweet, sweet dough. Of course, other companies want a slice of that delicious pie. Many have tried and dipped their toes in, with very little success. Whether or not the movie was well received by critics and audiences, the most important thing companies cared about was the money that the movies were making. And with the exception of DreamWorks, it seemed like no other movies at this time could actually be profitable. Enter Don Bluth, known for directing many animated classics like The Land Before Time, The Secret of NIMH, and American Tail, to name a few. He came in to direct Anastasia, based on the real-life historical events surrounding the Russian Revolution. Although this movie is not historically accurate, it takes liberties, the main one being Anastasia living in the first place. But I like to think of it as a what-if type of scenario for the movie. For those who don't know, the movie Anastasia is about the youngest daughter of the royal family, Anastasia, who obtains amnesia after the palace is stormed by the people of Russia. A decade passes and Anastasia leaves her orphanage and attempts to pursue the only thing she has from her previous life, a locket from her grandmother that says, "Together in Paris." She comes across a con man named Dmitri and his partner Vladimir, who plan to find, quote-unquote, the possibly living Anastasia and reap the rewards. They venture off to Paris together, teaching Anastasia about proper royal etiquette, along with a budding romance between Anya and Dmitri, as well as getting stopped by many obstacles by the evil Rasputin.
Something more enticing, something really cruel.
Now, anyone could tell right away that this movie was written to capture even a glimpse of the Disney princess magic, but when they first decided to adapt the story as an animated film, they weren't sure how to do it, and deemed the real-life story a bit too dark. They did many revisions and reworked it into a more lighthearted romantic comedy, turning it into the movie we know today. And honestly, it's a good movie. One might even say it's a great movie. They took a swing and hit it well by crafting a cohesive story from beginning to end, where characters learn and grow, mainly between Anya and Dmitri, and along the way, we get to have fun with other characters, accompanied by many musical numbers. The songs are good too, with Once Upon a December and In the Dark of the Night standing out as absolute tour de forces, sung by Liz Calloway and Jim Cummings respectively, who give it their all. I mean, Once Upon a December was so good that it was nominated alongside another song, Journey to the Past, for a Golden Globe.
Across my memory, far away.
The songs were so popular, as well as the movie itself, that it received a stage musical adaptation. I think that says a lot about something that's not mainstream. Disney and DreamWorks have had stage musicals, but it was extremely rare for another animated movie to get that treatment. It goes to show how successful the movie was. That being said, there are a few things about the film that aren't quite up to par with the other animated movies from that time, which hold it back from it being fantastic. The main issue to me might be the villain. Now, I really like the villain. He feels threatening enough towards our protagonist for a bit, but not throughout the entire film. At the beginning, he's the one who causes the revolution in the first place. But he has his demon friends do most of the chaotic work for him while he remains in the underground realm throughout most of the movie. People have said that you can take him out and the story would not change too much, and they're kind of right. Since he curses the Romanovs, the curse would still happen after he dies at the beginning. For the rest of the film, he's just there to give a physical appearance to the villain role, and personally, I'm okay with that, mainly because of his villain song. I can understand keeping him around so the children watching can point to a villain to hate, and he serves his purpose, even though it's not a huge one. It does a fine job though. Now, the film ended up grossing about $140 million on a $53 million budget, earning a profit that was unheard of for other animated movies at the time that weren't Disney or DreamWorks. Part of the reason it made so much money in the first place was because of a lot of people's confusion about who made the film. At first glance, it does resemble Disney movies at the time, and for many years onward, and even to this day, some people think that the movie was made by Disney. But no, it was actually made by Fox Animation. Although technically, it is a Disney movie now, after Disney bought Fox out in 2019. So I can imagine there's even more confusion for some. Still, even without being a part of the Disney company back then, they managed to be successful, and even more so when it was sold on video and DVD, selling up to 8 million units. not only gathering new fans, but achieving a cult status as an underappreciated film, which it remains by fans to this day. It was also successful enough to get its own spin-off movie about the villain's sidekick, Bartok the Magnificent. I haven't seen it personally, but I hear it's actually pretty decent. To conclude, although Anastasia is not a grand epic or the best of its kind, or even good historically telling of the story, to me it's a great movie. It has really good animation, characters that grow and are entertaining, and songs that are very memorable to this day, all culminating in a very entertaining story for everyone. Although it hits very similar beats to the movies of the Disney Renaissance at the time, it still stands out as its own thing. As much as people confuse it for the very thing it wasn't, I think it's a movie that I will watch time and time again. Let me know what you all think of it. Is it a classic to you, or do you feel like it's a shallow attempt to copy Disney? I'm with the former.